Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. In this video, I want us to have a look at some of William Ruto's recent government appointments. For the appointments are going to form the basis of our analysis and discussion right now. But in case you are watching us, but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. Saturday, 21st January 2023, President Ruto appoints Stephen Kiptoem to be the chairperson of Board of Directors of NACADA for a period of 3 years. Friday, 10th March 2023, that's this month, President Ruto appoints Susan Jemtai Koech to be the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya for a period of 4 years. 10th March 2023, this month still, William Kipkemboi Ruto appointed as the Managing Director of the Kenya Ports Authority for a period of 3 years. President Ruto appoints Samson Kipkoech Some, Chairperson of the Tourism Fund Board for 3 years. The appointment of Alphonse Kioko has been revoked. Friday, 10th February 2023, President William Ruto appoints Cleophas Lagat, Chairperson of the Board of Directors of the Rivertex East Africa Limited for a period of 3 years. Appointment of Linus Gitai revoked. Head of Public Service Felix Koskei appoints former IG Joseph Boynet as Deputy National Security Advisor. Those are some of William Ruto's appointments in the parastatals. Already in the cabinet, 60% of the cabinet goes to the mountain and to the Kalenjin nation. If you look at the principal secretaries, over 60% goes to the Kalenjins and the mountain. So Kenyans thought and felt that maybe these parastatals, the bosses, could have gone to these other communities. But what we are seeing is now in the parastatals, things are even getting worse. Kalenjins are sweeping all top positions in the parastatals. Kalenjins are sweeping them all. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? The first meaning to that, this is a tribal government, and there are no better words or a better way of sugarcoating that. This is a tribal government. William Ruto is a tribal president, a president determined to only appoint his community, his tribesmen in government. That's exactly what is coming out very, very clearly. And then secondly, I'm seeing a William Ruto who has not changed from the William Ruto we saw in 2013. In 2013, when William Ruto had the opportunity of appointing half of the cabinet, he only appointed people from his community. So by being the president, some Kenyans thought that maybe he could now be, or rather try to be, a national leader. But what we are seeing is that we are still dealing with the same William Ruto of 2013, a tribal William Samoei Ruto. And looking at this government, The only good thing, or rather the only thing that can come from such a tribal government is that corruption will most definitely increase. In that those who have been appointed into those government positions, they'll actually be stealing or rather looting public funds because they know after all they are being protected by the appointing authority. And besides corruption actually going on, I'm also seeing these individuals appointed not actually delivering. They are going to relax because after all, the appointing authority is their friend, their tribesman, or even a relative. So this is also a perfect example of nepotism and tribalism in government. And just as we saw in Sri Lanka and in Tunisia, such kinds of tribal appointments always leads to possible revolutions. And I won't be wrong to say that looking at William Ruto's government, unless a miracle happens, Kenyans at one point will obviously and definitely rebel against this kind of a regime. And I'm saying that because as this is happening, Kenyans are being pushed to the wall to pay taxes. But when it comes to government services and appointments, we are seeing them only going to two communities. This is something that will for sure bring trouble for William Ruto anytime. It can happen anytime. This is unacceptable. And again, I have issues with these members of parliament actually joining this government, saying they're joining the government for development. In my honest opinion, those leaders ought to be oversighting the government. But by joining the government, they are just giving such kind of a tribal government more power to continue sitting on other communities. And that's why it's important to say that to all, or rather to Kenyans, any leader supporting this government, that's a leader most definitely supporting the government for his or her own personal gains. That's a leader not looking at the best interest of Kenyans at large. Because if they were looking at the best interest of Kenyans, they could not be condoning such kind or even supporting such kind of a tribal government. As I conclude, it's remaining less than 1 week to the 20th, a day Raila Odinga has called all Kenyans to converge in Nairobi for peaceful demonstrations to see if they can force William Ruto out of power. It's remaining less than 1 week. And from where I sit, there is total panic in William Ruto's team. And that's why earlier today, we saw some church leaders reaching out to Raila Odinga to broker a truce between him and William Ruto. What the church leaders and those who have sent them should know is that it's not a personal grudge between Raila and William Ruto, but Raila is just trying to air what a good majority of Kenyans are actually going through. Raila is just trying to talk on behalf of the many Kenyans who are being oppressed by this government. So instead of the religious, or rather of the church leaders, actually telling Raila Odinga to have a truce with William Ruto, they should instead tell William Ruto to lower the cost of living, to stop tribalism in government, to make sure corrupt individuals are not appointed in his government. William Ruto should stop creating more positions for his friends and for the big boys' spouses. Because we have seen an office for Rigathi Gachagwa's office being created, for Musalia Mudavadi's wife being created. Those are the things the clergy should be telling William Ruto. Above all, Raila has also made it very clear that he wants the servers to be opened. If truly William Ruto believes he won the August presidential election, what makes it hard for him to order for the servers to be opened? If he won that election, let Kenyans know from the servers. Yes, because I think that's the only way. There is no peace without justice. In the event the servers are opened, Kenyans will just see who won that election. And that leader will rule, knowing fully well he or she was elected by Kenyans. Let's meet in our next analysis. If you want to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number. Thank you. God bless you. Yes.